Good evening, folks. Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. The food distribution voter block? What is that all about? Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Happy Wednesday. March 1st, 2023. Tonight, let's talk about the food distribution voter block. What do I mean by that? And who controls it? Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. How you doing, folks? Happy Wednesday. Today was the first day, petition season started yesterday, February 28th. I didn't really go out yesterday. I wanted to get some things squared away in the office, before I completely focused on that. And so today I did go out a little bit. I went out with some folks and earlier with folks, and then I went out a little later in the afternoon alone in a different part. But I got to meet a lot of different people, so it was very interesting, and I enjoyed it. I did. It's a very great. It's a great learning experience, right? I'm learning a lot, and like I've said, if anything else, this is a great way to learn. And also, I want to document it, I guess, in a way, and let folks know all about this process. I think it's important for everyone to know and for more people to get involved. And that is how we, hopefully combat, the whole career politician thing and, the whole corruption and nepotism thing. If we get more people involved, more people active, more people wanting to run for office. And so, that's what I'm looking forward to, most of all. But, if I win, that'd be great. If I get, the signatures and then I go in the primary and I beat Mike Spano, right? If I win, that would be absolutely great. And that's definitely something that I am working hard for, right? But ultimately, I like to look at, things from a positive lens, right? And find the silver lining. So I'm not, I'm going to go crazy, and some people are saying, how can you be so calm? And, honestly, I already won in life, and I don't mean, that in any, monetary or materialistic way. I have a beautiful family. I've managed to, come out of poverty and own businesses. And, I've been able to give my kids a lot more. And I've also been able to give back, right? So I've won. I've already won. And this is just icing on the cake. But this is something that I want to do, not just because I want to say, hey, I'm the mayor and look at me, but because I see there is a real need for change. We need new elected officials because the ones we have in there now have been there for too long. First of all, enough is enough. And I think they've had enough time. 3 terms for some of them. I think that's more than enough, right? The whole reason we have term limits is to get new people in, right? Continue whatever progress they say they've made and put fresh eyes on it, fresh ideas. And that's what democracy is. However, here in the city of Yonkers, that is not what democracy looks like, right? So today I want to talk about food distribution and the voter block the food distribution voter block. Now, what is a voter block? A voter block is a group of voters, right? And, categorized by, something, right? Whether it's Black voters, Hispanic voters, white voters, parents, seniors, right? Or, young age from 18 to 25, right? These groups, if you're able to do well within those groups, right, you have a voter block. That's yours that you, are going to do well in. And this, I'm going to do well with the seniors, right? Some people like Reverend Margaret Coleman, a lot of people saying that she's going to have a huge voter block when it comes to her church, right? And maybe other church folks who go, it's because of the fact that she's a reverend, so is her husband. So that's a voter block, right? Where they know that they're going to get that group of people to sign for them and vote for them, hopefully, right? So today I've gone out and I've knocked on doors, and I was on the west side And I did good today. Actually, I think I'm pretty positive about how I did today in terms of signatures. But one of the things also that I enjoyed was talking to people, right? And I got to hear different people talk about their lives, different stories, their concerns, just about themselves, all kinds of things. And it was great. And I also got to learn about this food distribution voter block. Well, at least that's what I call it. Anyway, today I went out early. Like I said, I connected with a lot of diverse group of people. They are people who recognize me. There were people, I should say, who recognized me. So right away, they either recognized my face or they recognized when I told them my name, and they were willing to sign. They were like, yeah, definitely. And of course, we have to make sure that they didn't sign with anyone else and that they are a registered Democrat. So I have to ask that first. But those were easy. They were the easy folks, because they just wanted to vote for me they want to see me do well. They watched the podcast, right? And so, I came up on that group and that was great. And then I came up on a group of people who already had signed, right? There was individuals that said, I already signed. Thank you. I'm good. And so those groups, I started to ask them, who did they sign for, right? Because they didn't really seem even sure of what was going on, right? Because I've been in sales and I've, had to go to people and pitch them or solicit a service. And so I know how to gauge people. I know how to read people. And so when I went to certain individuals, and a lot of them were in 160 Warburton, they said they already signed. But they seemed confused, right? They were like, yeah, what is that? Oh, yeah, I signed those papers already. So I said, well, who are you voting for, right? Who did you sign for? And they were like, I don't know. They just came on my door and they already knocked yesterday. They came by yesterday, right? So I ran into a lot of individuals like this who didn't know who they signed for, but they just signed the papers. People already came by. And then they also weren't sure who they were going to vote for. And in fact, one lady said to me that she already signed, but she doesn't vote anyway. That's what she said to me. I already signed. This Hispanic woman. I already signed, but I don't vote anyway. And so I said, you already signed, but you don't vote anyway, right? So I found that to be strange. And many of these voters, these individuals that I met, what they had in common, one of the things they had in common, whether they were Black or Hispanic, they didn't speak English well if they spoke English. So there were individuals, Hispanics, I was able to communicate with them. Other folks spoke another language that obviously I didn't know. And so I started to wonder about these group of individuals. They weren't sure who they signed for. They really didn't know. They weren't sure if they were going to vote. They really weren't even aware of what was truly going on all the way. And then one lady says that she's not going to vote anyway. She doesn't vote, but she signed petitions. And then it hit me. It's just like it hit me. I said, wait a minute. I wonder if these are the folks that go to the food distributions that they have here. They're home during the day, right? That's when they go to the food distribution. These are folks that are from, more impoverished side of town. Many are immigrants, don't speak the language well, if they speak it at all, and don't understand the process, the democratic process. Yet they managed to get registered. And I thought that was interesting. You don't know who you're going to vote for. You don't know who you sign for. You seem very confused about even what's going on. You just know that some people already came yesterday, knocked on your door, and you already signed their paper. So how did you register? Like, how did you, how were you aware enough to say, hey, I'm going to go register. I'm going to go register and be a Democrat. Especially the one woman who said she doesn't vote anyway, but she's registered. So I found that to be very strange. And I started to think, does this have to do with the food distributions and what I've been talking about in regards to the Tasha Diaz food distributions? The one that, Jeffrey Meyer does with his Ridgeway Alliance Church and also feeding Westchester. I was told by people who go to these food distributions that they were asked their name, addresses, and addresses. And I found that to be strange also. I'm saying, why are they asking these folks for their address and their names? And then I said, are they collecting them because they want to know for election reasons. But I didn't have it quite clear. I didn't really have it all the way understood, I think, until today. What I assumed that they did was they gathered these votes, right? They compile a list from all the different food distribution that she does, right? They'll do it. They were doing it at Cerrado Park. Why do you think they move around? Right? They were doing it at Cerrado Park. Then they went to Nepperhan. Now that's where they've been at Nepperhan. They'll do it over there by Linden. Corazon was just talking about the one she recently started doing with Feeding Westshore at the top of Elm Street, just before the elections and signing and petition signing. So I would imagine this is what they do. This is what they do. They get these folks information. They get their names, their addresses, maybe even their telephone numbers, maybe even an email. And if they're not registered, they work to get them registered. They bring the paperwork or maybe even have an iPad or something there. And then they register them as they're in line for food. Then they become registered Democrats. But they don't know, they don't care, whatever. They just want to get the food. And so then they go home. Then election season comes up, and guess what? They're now registered. They can sign petitions. So they take that same list from the food distribution, and then they divide it up among their volunteers and city employees who go out. And on the first day, that is their strategy, they go and knock off that list. They go early because they know they're going to be home, more than likely. They go to the food distributions in the middle of the day during the week, so they're going to most likely be home. And then they can send city employees. City employees have been spotted gathering petitions. I got the calls or the texts. And so people who are at work are not going to notice the city employees going out there gathering petitions because they're at work. And they are only going to the people that they have on their food distribution list. And they gather those all up and knock those out early on the first day, during the day, because they know to be home. They want to get their signatures first. And now they have them. So that's a food distribution voter block. Now they have to go and vote. But will they vote? Like the one lady said, she signs, but she doesn't vote anyway. So do they vote or do they not vote? I'm willing to bet that they still vote. But they're not the ones going. See, they take that same food distribution voter block list that they have compiled and go up to the Board of Elections in White Plains. And they divide the names among their supporters, volunteers, those wanting jobs with the city, seasonal guys who are looking for full-time work, and they go and grab their ballots. Then on election night, they ballot harvest. They hold on to those ballots and watch the elections closely. And those are the ones that they hold and only enter or submit based on what the numbers are looking like. So I'm willing to bet that a lot of the people on the food distribution line are absentee ballot voters. And so Zahi Jeris, who is tied to Tasha Diaz and also has a relationship with a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Myers, and I'm sure he will comment because he always feels the need to defend himself, and guilty people usually do. They have built this food distribution voter list, which they then use for their candidates. Zahi Jeris uses it for his precision strategies. He basically uses it and sells it to candidates. Hey, I'll be your strategist. I got a voter block. I'll get you your signatures right away. No problem. And that is why they attach their names to it. Why do you think Feeding Westchester would not partner up with me? I didn't understand it. Is that not what they do? Is that not their vision and mission statement, to feed people with food insecurities? But they can't when it comes to Freddy Vazquez. They don't do that. They don't partner up with me because they don't want me to possibly do what they're doing, which I had no intentions of. I didn't even think about it until now. And that's why they only do it with certain people. And so that needs to be looked into. FBI, are you watching? Are you watching, feds? I hope you are. You guys up there in Rye, wake up. Getting legitimate signatures is not easy. People are suspicious to sign and also need to be educated. People are convened to sign or connived to sign, excuse me. Got to knock on doors and use the Dem walking list. I did. I do have a Dem walking list, actually. Definitely do. And I printed that out and I put it in some order. So I could, I try to strategize and make it, work as efficient as possible. Did it myself. Standing in front of supermarkets or civic centers doesn't work as many think they are registered in one party and are not. Yeah, I wasn't in front of supermarkets, but I heard that Corazon was at like 12 midnight or something, and somebody has said that. I guess it's technically the 28th. Also, make sure your petition is filled out correctly or you will be challenged and booted out. Absolutely. That's one thing that people keep saying over and over. So, definitely want to make sure that everything on that petition is correct, which I, think this is also an issue. Why does the Board of Election only give a petition sheet to the endorsed candidate? I think they should have them there for everyone, right? Because then people can make mistakes on them and then they get kicked out. Even though the signature, the person may have, one signed for them legitimately, but something on the petition was wrong. And so it doesn't matter if the people wanted that person. It gets thrown out. So it's the election process is, I think almost it's designed, to be flawed. It's designed to be able to be manipulated. It's what it seems like. I don't get it. Not just folks that are food distributions, they prey on seniors too. Absolutely. And I believe that too, but I'm talking about specifically, and I'm sure they prey on a lot of different people, but I'm talking about specifically this food distribution that they have been doing for a long time now, that they constantly, boast about that they do. This is what we do. We feed the people. But what they're actually doing, and this has been told to me by people who have gone to get food there, as well as volunteers, right? Because my information comes from all sources, inside and out. And so they told me, yeah, they get information. They collect people's names and addresses. And so now I'm realizing how they do it. And I used to think that they would go and bring them their ballot with a bag of food. No, that's not what they do, because some of these people don't even know what's going on. They're not going out there to vote. So they're just going to hold on to their ballot, because as long as they're registered, they got them to sign the petition. They submit that ballot. It'll match up, unless that person says, no, I didn't actually go out there and do that. It wasn't me. I had no idea. Which, what I've done is I've started to make a list, right? Marking these individuals that I have a suspicion may be on this food distribution list. And we're going to verify these things at the end of these elections, because it's time to have these elections fair. And to the Board of Election, you folks up in Westchester, White Plains, I should say, you really should consider, allowing people to go up there and get more than one ballot. If it's not theirs, or it should be a relative. That's it, right? I get it. Some people are older. They can't go up and get it. But it should not be made to where just some stranger can get, someone's ballot as long as they have their name and address. That's not okay. Right. Freddy, this is done in politics. All that is done for self-promotion and votes. Absolutely. But that's not okay. Right. So I want to call it out, because it's not okay. right? She wants to make herself look good, or these elected officials want to make themselves look good. And for those who do go out and vote, are fooled by these individuals because all they brag about is distributing food, which is what really is just, as someone said on the Yonkers Tribune, a way to wholesale votes. Someone posted on the Yonkers Tribune that Zahi Jeris and Jeffrey Myers are using the food distributions to wholesale votes. And I believe it now. I believe that. I believe that. Report all that stuff. Yeah, we should. That's why I'm making a list, because it's not fair to the people, right? It's not fair to the people that are being most affected. And these individuals are being affected. These are the people that are, being pushed out, or that are having trouble finding apartments now. I spoke to people who said, that something is going on with municipal housing and how they're having trouble getting apartments. And they feel like they're being used for the application fees. They have to pay $50 per adult, and they submit the application. They get more money than the rent sometimes, yet they don't get a call back. They call back to the person and they say, oh yeah, no, don't worry, we'll call you, and then they don't get any callbacks. And so now they say you have to see. They told me, go on Zillow and go look at some of the housing there, that the apartments that they have to rent. You'll see how many people have gone to look at it or viewed it or whatever, but actually how it's still on the market. Why? These people have vouchers. They have the vouchers. Why aren't they giving us the apartments? And why is it that the housing, are sending them to go through brokers, forcing them to have to pay a brokerage fee? I mean, they need, help. They need financial help. That's why they are in that situation, getting the voucher. And now they're having to pay a broker fee. They're losing their security deposits. Their application fees, because they're applying and not getting hired. And they're feeling like it's just a scam. They're just trying to get as much, of this application fees. The more like they don't want you to expose them. Yeah, they definitely don't want me to expose them. Ballot harvesting is crazy in Yonkers. Yes, absolutely. And that's what I believe is truly happening with the food distributions. And it's important because it manipulates our elections. So individuals get elected who really shouldn't have gotten elected. They wouldn't have gotten the votes if it was a fair election. People are having their names used. People are taking their ballots and submitting them and having them vote for people that they don't even know who they are. I mean, many of the folks that I talked to had no clue who's even running. They have no clue. And yet they are registered voters who already signed for Mayor Spano's petition. Interesting. Right? So that's not okay. That's not okay. That's abusing your power. That's word I'm looking for. That's just taking advantage of people. It's really taking advantage of individuals. And these elected officials, our council members in each district, I blame you too, because you do nothing to educate the people on politics. And that is why I am enjoying going out there, because I'm speaking to people and I'm educating people. Well, maybe it's one at a time, but I am, because people just don't know a lot about this stuff. And it's not just because they're uneducated people. Educated people as well are just unaware of what's actually going on here in Yonkers. And it's unbelievable how corrupt. And they all have the same issue with that marked realty. Yo, marked realty, Sam, whatever your name is, dude, the white Tesla. What's the issue with you, man? In my city, coming from Brooklyn, right? They got these, realtors that are preying on people for the application fees. They're telling them, oh, don't worry. My boss is buying up everything, buying all over Yonkers. Don't worry. You're perfect. Maybe you don't get this one. You should apply for this other one that he has. And then they don't get a call back for that one. So they're like, well, forget it. They're playing us. Mark Realty. That's Zahi Jeris's boy. I remember when he approached me about having a hook at the building apartment. He saw me with some plans one day. I said, no, I'm having trouble myself. But I guess you found your hook. FBI, you guys should look into this. Look into this. I'm telling you, there's something there. And it's not okay. And people are being preyed on. It's not okay. And you got some of these folks that are Black and Hispanic supporting these individuals that are doing this to your own people. And you don't care, right? You're getting yours. You don't care. They don't like Freddy Vazquez. Some of these individuals don't like Freddy Vazquez. They're having meetings about me, right? Because they don't like what I'm saying, as you said. They don't like me speaking out. They don't like me in educating people. So Mark Realty, get it together, man. What's going on with this guy? I keep hearing about your company, Mark Realty. Buying up everything, kicking people out, right? Forcing people out. So, I just want to talk about that because that's, that's something I think we all should know. We should know about the way they're cheating elections, the way they're getting signatures. So if you're a average resident, right, you want to enter the election, this is what you have to deal with. And so how are elections fair? How is our democratic process fair? How? It's not fair at all. It's not fair at all. Anyway, folks, I think that's it. That's all I really want to talk about. Did I tell you guys Seda Jarris? I heard Seda Jarris, the wife of Zahi Jarris, was out there during work hours with either DPW guy or a Parks guy gathering signatures during work hours. Can somebody check her timesheet, please? Did she ask for that day off? Make sure she wasn't clocked in, human resource. Can I count on you guys to do that? How about it, guys? This is what we need. We need a guy like Freddy that's going to go in there and make sure that this is not happening. This is taxpayer money that they're abusing. They're out there gathering signatures while being paid taxpayer money, right? So this is why we need change. That's what I hear. So if you guys are out there and you see city employees during work hours, which I doubt they're going to be out there, especially after I mentioned it on my podcast, I think they got all the people that they wanted to get on day one, all the food distribution list people that are going to be home during the day. They hit them up already. So I doubt you'll see them. But if you do, take a picture. It's worth money. You send it to me. It's worth money. I guarantee you. Call me up. I'll pay. All right. I want to, we're going to put these people on blast. At the end of the day, that's what I'm going to do. Freddy Vazquez is here to stay, whether I become mayor of the city of Yonkers or not. I'm here to inform and educate the people of the city of Yonkers. And ultimately, I will be where I need to be to do the change that I need to do. It's only a matter of time. And I have time. So, folks, if you haven't signed, please hit me up. I'm just checking to see if I have anything more. Hit me up. Email me at info@freddyformayor.com. Let's set up a day and time. I'll come to you. You can come by the office. Come by the office between 9 and 7. You can sign my petition there. I have my person there. So you can come by. Or I can come to you, and I will also be, going through the city of Yonkers, different locations. I won't mention where. But I will be out there and, going around gathering signatures. To the people who signed my petition, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you. I even had one guy who says, I normally don't like to sign the petitions. I just, he just votes in the general election, though he's registered. But he said, I'm going to, and I spoke to him for a while, older white guy, and he said, I'm going to sign yours, right? We need change. I'm tired of the Spanos. One person called them the Sopranos. I'm tired of them. Enough is enough. And I said, I appreciate you. I thank you very much for that. So thank you, sir, for that, for signing my petition and giving me your faith, giving me faith and your trust. That's all I'm asking for the people of Yonkers. If you haven't signed, spread the word. Don't sign for anyone unless it's Freddy Vazquez. I need your help to get on the ballot. That's how I get on. That's how we will make change. I'm the only true change that is on this ticket or this whole election. I'm the only guy that's here for you. That's going to create the change that we need. That's me. And I'm not going to talk about specifically what I would like to do because they'll go and start doing it. They have. Did you see what Westchester County DA's office posted a couple of days ago? They're doing a program with our Yonkers public school students. Great. I'm glad. I don't want to take credit for it because I don't care about that, but that's something that I mentioned about a year ago. The Yonkers NAACP was having a Zoom meeting, right, that they they made public with the Westchester County DA, and they were discussing the fact that there were not enough blacks within the Westchester County DA's office. Mimi Roca's response was that they were having trouble finding qualified black candidates. I don't know if that's true but I guess. Okay. Well, then I said, why don't we do something within the Yonkers Public Schools? Because around that same time, I had happened to see a post by the Yonkers Public Schools where they were showing off a program that they brought into the schools where kids were juggling. The kids in the picture were all black. They're juggling, and the program aimed to teach kids how to communicate via juggling. So instead of working with them to become prosecutors and DAs, you're teaching them to become clowns, right? That's what you think is going to improve the lives of Black and Hispanics who are largely impoverished in Yonkers, to teach them to juggle. Meanwhile, Mimi Roca is saying they can't find qualified Black candidates. Well, now there's a program, and I hope that you expand it, and I hope that it's sustained. It's good to see that, Mimi. Thank you. Now, there's a lot of corruption here in the city of Yonkers that you should put your focus on. You don't need them, Mimi. You're the DA now. What do you say? Enough is enough, Mimi. Enough is enough. And what's going on with that Cater thing? Are we ever going to get an answer on that? I mean, the guy didn't commit murder. The guy didn't rob a bank. I mean, it's not like he got a council member to flip her vote or anything. I don't understand it. What's going on? And what about anybody got any information on that lawsuit, the Michael Sussman lawsuit? How's that going? Is Mike Sussman just making money there? Is he taking your money, guys? Make sure all the signatures are correct. I know they're going to try to discredit all of yours. They've been trying to discredit me since I started Basement Politics. You're absolutely right. They are going to definitely try to discredit me. They're going to throw everything at me. And so I'm going to just say this. To the person who challenges my signatures, right, when I get this required, don't give yourself any problems. Don't give yourself problems. You know what I mean? Saying don't have problems. Don't give yourself problems. You don't want, like, hey, don't know if freelance masseuses or whatever masseuse, if you're a freelance masseuse out there and you like challenging petitions, don't bother with Freddy Vazquez. Don't give yourself problems, man. All right. Don't become a target. Don't get put in my crosshairs. I got a podcast that people watch. I'm going to find out all about you and find out why is it that you challenge my signatures. And I'm not going to give up because I am relentless. Ain't that right, folks? Make sure everything is perfect. I know. And we know in life, nothing is perfect. So, we're going to do our best, and, but again, this is a learning experience for me and for every one of you folks who don't know about the process. And so I think this is just the beginning. We have to start somewhere. To the folks that said, Freddie, you crazy. I'm not crazy. This is how you learn, right? No one's sitting down guiding me through this. So I have to go out there and learn. I've always been the type to jump off the ledge into not the ledge, but jump into the deep end, I should say, before I know how to swim. And I learned that way. It's just how I had to do it, right? So I'm learning and I'm understanding this process more and more. And so, again, this is just the beginning. Change will come to the city of Yonkers. I can promise you that. But I definitely need your support. So if you haven't signed, please reach out to me. Save your signature. Make a real impact. Sign Freddy Vazquez petition. That's where true change will come. And again, I have ideas, good ideas. I'm just not going to mention them. They will start to do them. It's not an ego thing. I'm not being arrogant. I promise you that. And folks who have been following me for a while now will know. They watch, and if I say something, they will do it to say, no, we were doing it already. Or, oh, he's criticizing this. Let's go in and patch up the roads, which is good, right? Patch up the streets. That's good. I got that done. Fire hydrants, they're checking them now, making sure they're all in working order. They have to fix a few, but we need them fixed, right? So, and other things that I just can't even remember because I don't care. I just want to get things done. And so I have ideas. One of my primary focuses will be the educational system. That's just, if you don't like that, then don't vote for me. Okay. My focus will be our youth, our seniors, affordability in our housing, jobs. How do we bring jobs to the city and to residents who need jobs? Job training. That's what we need. We need trade schools or programs within our high schools for those who are not going to go to college But if you are going to go to college, make sure that we have a, real robust college, preparedness program. One of the things I did with a lot of my younger relatives was help them apply for, college, their FAFSA forms and all that stuff. Some people just don't know that. Make sure you understand you need to get a good SAT score, ACT score, whichever one you take. Right? It's important. What do you want to do with your life? Where you want to be when you're 25, when you're 30? So we need this in our schools. We need to prepare our kids because the majority of our students are impoverished, and we want to get them, at least I do. I want to see them get out of poverty. And that happens with a quality education. I was one of those kids myself. I was one of those students. I was an impoverished student in Yonkers Public Schools. My family was on welfare. I grew up in a tenement building in the hood. I'm Buena Vista. I've seen it all. Things that I wouldn't want anyone else to see. It's very traumatizing. So there are a lot of traumatized young kids walking around our streets. Why do you think they're getting into trouble? They have a lot of issues going on deep inside that most people cannot see, so therefore they are judged. And we have to make sure that these programs that are set up right. This is a no judgment or not about any one person in particular. So if any individual takes something I say on my podcast personal, then that's something that you have to see why or think why. I'm not speaking about you. Unless your name is Mike Spano, Corazon Pineda, Lakeisha, John Rubo, one of the council members, one of our elected officials, I'm most likely not talking about you, but the programs in general. They get a lot of grant money, tax money, and they're supposed to produce. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see production. I want to see results. You want to make 150,000, then I want to see you working hard. And I want to see results. That's what we need in leadership. Not someone that's just going to use the city of Yonkers to bring in a bunch of developers so they can make some side money while they develop the crap out of Yonkers and then they get the hell out of Dodge. To leave to then another person to have to deal with. That's not what we want here. We need change. We need real leadership, someone who cares about the people, who cares about every single community here. It's not about identity politics. I'm not asking you to vote for me because I'm Latino, because I'm a man. I'm asking you to vote for me because I am the guy that will get it done. I am the person that will represent everyone and not just the social elites, the political elites, the ones who get recycled from position to position until they retire with a pension that taxpayers will have to pay until they die. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. I want to be your mayor, but first I want your signature. Don't make me have to work too hard. I got a lot of other things. I got several businesses that I have to run. So please, if you can, set up a time and day. Try and make it easy for me as I make it easy for you. But I do want your signature, and I will be out there. But it's hard for me to guide. And I like to direct people, right? I micromanage too much. Something my wife says I have to learn not to do. But it's hard to just let people, sometimes I'm very much like that. So I will be on everyone, every department. What's going on? What we doing today, right? I will be all up everyone's, making sure that we have the maximum efficiency and productivity. I will run this like a business where the people of the city of Yonkers are the shareholders, because we are. We are the shareholders. The stakeholders, as they say, but I say shareholders. And it's time that we start receiving our dividends here in the city of Yonkers. And if you want to see some dividends, you vote for Freddy Vazquez. You first sign my petition. I'm Freddy Vazquez, folks. I'm up out of here. Thank you so much, folks. I appreciate it. I love you. And if I can speak with some of you guys in the tenant associations, homeowner associations, speak to me. I'm the guy that will represent you. You own a home here in the city of Yonkers, speak to me. I'm the guy that's going to represent you. You live in an apartment down by the waterfront, I'm the guy that's going to represent you. Whether you own, whether you rent, whether you're tall, whether you're short, whether you're black, white, brown, purple, or yellow, doesn't matter. I'm for you. I'm Freddy Vazquez, folks. Have a beautiful night. Go hang out with my wife. Man, I need some cuddle time. I love cuddle time. Take care, folks. Have a beautiful day, evening. I'll see you tomorrow. The roads, fix the infrastructure, quality of life, stop the smash and grabs. Now, some people say that the police are being, and I don't want to say this is true, but they're being a little passive aggressive because they don't have a contract yet. What is Mike Spano waiting for? Is it true they don't have a contract yet? What is Mike Spano waiting for? I was just told this today. I didn't really have time to look it up. He's playing you guys. They're playing you guys. For all you new young officers who haven't been there long, this is the game they play with you guys. So it's time for change. If you live in Yonkers, police, Freddy Vazquez is your guy. And I always support the police. Always. Folks, have a good night. I'm up out of here.
Freddy wins.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
Thank you.
Fatality.
No!
Feeding Westchester, your nonprofit is being politicized. I truly believe that the people that come and line up to get food that you distribute at your various locations are being utilized for elections. They're compiling people's information and they're using them for signatures and votes. And I suggest you guys take a look at that because that's illegal. And I'm going to be all over it until I prove it or disprove it. One of the two. What about you guys over at Ridgeway Alliance Church? What's this Jeffrey Meyer guy doing? And where is Ridgeway Alliance Church anyway? I hear Jeffrey is in Florida. Why are we even hearing about you, Jeffrey? Most people, when they go to Florida, they move and they stay and they don't come back. They don't show their face around. That's where they go to get lost.
No!
It's serious business, folks. Serious business.